Hi guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for What If Goten Was Born First. Now last time we saw what happened during the future timeline, with the training of Gohan and Trunks happening under their master Goten, who managed to defeat one android thanks to the evil containment wave. However, the warriors were soon defeated after dealing with just one android. We join our heroes now. We see the likes of Goku and Goten training outside, both are using the Super Saiyan state. This is just a few weeks after Goku had learned the form. With the pair being caught up in the middle of their match, they don't notice two powers appearing and then heading towards them, with the two powers soon arriving, landing near Goku's house. The two are still too caught up in their sparring match to notice. However, when someone shouts out for Goku, the pair look over and see two people they've never seen before. However, one of them has this weird look of familiarity about them, and they can't figure out why. One of the strangers shouts out, "Sorry to bother you guys, but I need to talk to you and warn you about something." Both Goten and Goku are really confused as the person who just talked to them approaches, with one of them wearing an orange gi, saying, "Hi, I have a lot to tell you, and it's gonna get confusing. You see, I'm from the future, so is my friend here, and I've come to warn you about a threat from the future. You see, in 3 years, two androids will attack." With the person going on into detail, warning them about the attack, the date, and all sorts, giving them as much information as they possibly can to warn them about the androids. Both Goku and Goten are sort of taken off guard by this, and the two people in front of them laugh nervously. They go on to explain what happened to Goku before handing over the heart medicine. Goku and Goten thank the pair for warning them, and the time travelers say that they will be back to help before leaving. With Goku and Goten starting to warn the others, soon everyone gets to training. Piccolo soon joins up with Goku and Goten in their training. This training being very effective thanks to the fact that Goten already has Super Saiyan, leading to both Goku and Goten trying to improve the form. And soon they actually make some good ground, even getting to grips with the second grade of Super Saiyan, with Goten wanting to push it further while Goku wants to step back and master Super Saiyan. Now, after 3 years of training, the day of the android attack goes down, with not a lot changing. Goku here still didn't take his medicine, so he falls to the heart disease and is taken out of the fight for a while. Thanks to the fact that there is a slightly stronger Vegeta who is more motivated to train to take over Child, who became Super Saiyan first, the battle against 19 goes very easy. Dr. Gero still escapes, and everything up to the point where the androids are released are normal, with one change being there are two time travelers and Goten being a Super Saiyan. Things go slightly better in the battle against the androids near the highway, but there is not a lot of change here. Like I said, there's two time travelers who are both Super Saiyan and a Goten who is also Super Saiyan. So this bit kind of goes a slight bit easier. However, they still inevitably lose. With things not really changing, there isn't a lot to cover here. However, one thing I will bring up is Goten would hate the loss he took. After all, he is much more happy to fight and train than Gohan is. So he would begin to train at Kame House while waiting for his father to recover. Everything else plays out like in canon, up until Goku heads into the time chamber, where he takes Goten and future Gohan. Goten wants to just push out pure power, and he begins trying to work on that. However, Goku and Gohan plan on mastering the state. With them getting to training, Goten learns of his future self and is amazed and hopes to be as cool and as strong as him someday. With Gohan hearing this, he thinks to himself how Goten is already far surpassed his master, but he won't bring this up. The kid seems pretty motivated and he wants him to keep pushing. It's nice having a nice role reverse with his brother. Now, with this going on, Goten begins to push himself and soon learns grade 3 of Super Saiyan. And in this timeline, he realizes its flaws. Of course, he has it pointed out to him as well by his father, but Goten, being a bit more of an advert fighter, does pick up on it by himself. Now, he does try to work with the form for a while. However, once he sees Goku and Gohan's training going to some effect, he joins them and soon all of them master the Super Saiyan state. With them soon leaving the Room of Spirit in time, after about 8 months, all come out a lot stronger than their canon counterparts. Things here line up a little bit like canon. There was a bit of downtime before the Cell games comes around, and eventually the day would come around. Cell being a little bit more Saiyan in this timeline, thanks to Goten being more Saiyan than Gohan, and also thanks to Frieza's DNA not mixing in with the blood of Cell, is a little bit more interested in testing out all the fighters here. More importantly, the Sun family. So Cell in this timeline sets up an actual tournament with brackets. With everyone starting to draw soon, the brackets are broken up and people draw their slots. The first round of the tournament being Android 16 versus a Cell Jr., Hercule versus a Cell Jr., a Cell Jr. versus Goku, Gohan versus a Cell Jr., Piccolo versus Goten, Vegeta versus a Cell Jr., Cell Jr. versus a Cell Jr. That's going to be a nail biter, and Cell versus Trunks. Now, with the first fight starting to begin, 16 is up. However, the android cannot win and soon loses against the Cell Jr. thanks to its incredible power. 16 tried his best and he wanted to avenge his siblings, but couldn't quite do it. Next up is Hercule. Yeah, anyway, moving on. With Cell seeing this, he smiles. He's happy to have got rid of these two in particular, as he stands up into the arena, confusing everyone, and makes an announcement. With the weaklings dealt with, I have decided to make it more interesting. From here on out, killing will be allowed. When you are killed, that is you lost. But you can also lose through a ring out. Same tournament rules, just a bit more interesting for my taste. And with that, he steps out of the arena. Z fighters are shocked to hear this, with Hercule realizing he just dodged a bullet, and 16 is also slightly happy. Now, the Z fighters are a bit freaked, but they decide to continue on, with Goku walking into the arena before anyone can really tell him not to, and Goku's fight versus the Cell Jr. is up. Goku's fight is a bit of a challenge, however the Saiyan Su comes out on top, and it's clear to everyone Goku was holding back there. Now, this causes Goku to advance to the next round, and the next fight is Future Gohan versus the Cell Jr., and this goes about the same as Goku's round, meaning Future Gohan won. Next up is Piccolo versus Goten. The pair actually look forward to having this match. Goten knows Piccolo is strong, and Piccolo doesn't know how much power Goten is hiding. The fight begins, and Piccolo goes all out to begin with, while Goten starts to warm up. Piccolo soon catches on and realises that the boy is holding back a lot of power. He realises that this isn't a fight he can win, but he pushes and just wants to test the boy. They have sensory beams on the side, so even if he does manage to hurt him, they'll just both have one quickly. With the battle going on for quite a while, Goten and Piccolo's fight is a pretty dominant side for Goten. He's easily able to win this fight, and he's just playing around, just wanting to have a good fight like his father would. Eventually, he rings out Piccolo. The pair both shake hands, as Piccolo realises that the boy in front of him has way more potential than he could have ever predicted. The two share a senzu bean, and Goten actually manages to get a little bit of a small Zankai from it. Piccolo wasn't a complete pushover and got some decent hits in. Next up is Vegeta versus the Cell Jr. Now Vegeta loses this fight, much like he did in canon. Even though Vegeta is stronger here, so are the Cell Juniors. So Vegeta here loses. The Cell Jr. is going to kill the Prince. However, in a stroke of luck, Vegeta actually was ringed out before the blast hits him, meaning that the battle ends there. Next up is the exhilarating fight everyone's here for, Cell Jr. versus the Cell Jr. I'm not covering this, moving on. Now finally is Trunks versus Cell. Trunks being in a very bad spot, as Cell smiles as he gets into the arena. Trunks is told that he doesn't have to fight, however the hybrid has put some thought into it and doesn't want to quit. He wants to at least try and injure Cell, or at least show off his fighting style to give everyone an upper hand in their upcoming battle. He also believes there's a chance he might be able to ring him out, but it's going to be a lot of effort and a very hard battle. Trunks walks into the arena and thinks back to his mentor, who never gave up regardless of the odds. He goes into his grade 2 Super Saiyan state, knowing the weakness of the grade 3 form, and the battle begins. Trunks doesn't do bad near the start, with Cell actually getting hit multiple times, and the pair even clashing once or twice. Trunks knows that Cell's holding back, but he doesn't care. He's going to try and use Cell's cockiness to his advantage. With the pair going into clash, Trunks buffs up to his grade 3 state, landing a solid hit in on Cell, knocking him backwards. Trunks then drops down back to his grade 2 state and rushes at Cell once again. The pair clash as Trunks does the same trick. This is quite interesting to Cell, but also getting really annoying. The punches do actually hurt quite a bit. As well as that, Trunks is managing to jump between the two forms very easily. Eventually, Trunks has pushed Cell back to the edge of the arena. Trunks goes to fire off a burning attack, hoping it will ring out Cell, or at least destroy the arena from underneath him. But just before Trunks can fire his attack, Cell's energy skyrockets. Cell begins to laugh as he rushes towards Trunks. The boy gets ready to fight, however Cell is too fast for him, and soon gut punches Trunks, winding him, and then begins to beat into Trunks without giving him a second to breathe. The others from the side shout out for Trunks to get out of there, however Cell won't give him a second to speak. Soon, the android decides to end this battle, throws Trunks to the side, and kills him with a blast. Everyone from the side watches on in horror. No one moves for a few seconds, until an eruption of power from Vegeta skyrockets, and soon the Saiyan Prince is rushing towards Cell, screaming out how Cell just killed his son, and he will make him pay. He charges up a massive blast, and gets inches away from Cell before firing it. The blast does a little bit more than Cell was expecting. In hindsight, it doesn't do that much damage. However, at this point, the battle of the tournament is over. This is a full-on battle now. Cell gets ready to fight Vegeta. However, Gohan, rushing in, really pissed off, putting a barrage of blows in on Cell before Vegeta joins in as well. The two hold Cell down. Goku and Goten, seeing this, decide to deal with the Cell Juniors before they cause any trouble. Both showing off their true powers, are easily able to overpower the Cell Juniors and quickly dismantle them. It does take a bit of trying, but they still manage to do so. Piccolo, watching from the side, doesn't want to sit down and do nothing. He rushes in to help with the battle against Cell, knowing that Vegeta and Gohan are going to need his help until the other two arrive. Humans from the side start getting ready to battle, but Krillin and Yamcha decide to make a quick play, getting the humans such as Jimmy Firecracker and Hercule, with them not happy that they're being taken away. But Yamcha just overpowers the two and gets them far away from the battle, knowing it's probably the safest bet for them. Krillin starts moving Trunks away before realising that he actually still has a pulse. The boy's still alive. He quickly digs into his pocket and pulls out one of the last few sensor beams they have, and gives it to Trunks. The Saiyan hybrid soon gets up and looks around, confused to what happened. Krillin quickly explains, and then with Trunks seeing what's going on, he powers up to his grade 2 state, with it actually being a lot stronger thanks to him getting quite a good Zenkai. Trunks rushes in to help his father, with future Gohan and Vegeta seeing him there, they calm down a little bit, leading to them both getting hit pretty hard by Cell. However, thanks to a Zenkai Trunks has just got, he's actually able to do a little bit better and keeping up with Cell a bit more. But Cell is on guard for the grade 2 to grade 3 switch, so he's not letting Trunks do that anymore. Trunks was happy he managed to get some blows in then, but now he wishes he had kept it till now. All fighters up against Cell continue fighting, waiting for Goku and Goten to arrive. With the pair slowly dismantling the Cell Juniors, they only just managed to do it. I know I said it would be quick, but it also would be a challenge. These two have still got to fight a lot of Cell Juniors. The pair had actually got hit pretty hard during that, and realised they're going to need a Senzu before jumping back into the battle with Cell. Goku, shouting over to Krillin, asks for a Senzu. Krillin chucks over one Senzu beams, telling them to split it. After all, they've only got one left after this, and he wants to save it for an emergency. Goku, understanding, eats his half and gives the other half to Goten. The pair mostly recover from their injuries, and even manage to gain a small Zenkai from it. By the time they join the battle, both Vegeta and Piccolo have been taken out of it, hardly able to fight anymore. Not dead, but just hardly able to walk or stand. The fighters who are left in, Trunks, Goten, Gohan and Goku, all try their best to do anything to Cell, but his power is immense, managing to keep up just barely, and this is thanks to how good they work together. Eventually though, they are starting to lose steam and they need to come up with some plan. Goten does bring something up, and he's not sure how well it will work. The boy says how they want, if they can they buy him some time? With everyone confused, they agree, as Goten heads towards the ground and starts charging up the biggest Kamehameha he can produce. The boy is the strongest of the fighters currently here, and he's going to risk all of his energy to try and take Cell down here. The other three fighters hold off Cell for as long as they can. Eventually a shout out from Goten after a couple of minutes lets them know that he's ready. With them hearing this, they all jump out of the way. However, both Trunks and Gohan clap their hands together and fire off a Thundershock surprise, keeping Cell in place. Goku's surprised to see they know this, but remembering that Goten was their master, it makes sense. Soon, Goten fires off a huge Kamehameha, with the attack making contact and pushing Cell very far into orbit. Goten doesn't release the attack until he can no longer feel Cell's energy. Goten drops to Kamehameha and even drops out of Super Saiyan. His father looks up and can't see Cell, nor can he sense him. Everyone collects themselves and all gather around one another. Piccolo and Vegeta are given the last half of the senzu bean they have, with them able to stand now and Vegeta getting a Zenkai. Everyone's getting ready to leave when Goku senses a huge energy erupt. Looking up into the sky, they see Cell, who's reformed himself. Everyone's shocked and horrified, feeling his energy higher than ever before. Cell looks down, but that was quite a pitiful strategy. I wasn't too sure if I could regenerate from that, but it looks like these Namekian cells are helping out quite a bit. Anyway, let's finish this. I'm way too strong for you all now. I am perfect, after all. Cell says this as he fires off a blast from his fingers, hitting the middle of the group and sending everyone flying. The first few to manage to collect themselves are Goku, Gohan, and Goten. All of them power back up to Super Saiyan and rush back into the fight. Although Cell isn't wanting to play around anymore, he shoots one blast towards Goku, sending him flying away, while the hybrids continue to rush towards him. They soon get right in front of him and begin to throw punches, but Cell is easily dodging everything they throw. Cell laughs as he remembers how hard it was to dodge these earlier. Trunks soon joins the fight and it doesn't change. Cell's easily able to dodge and counter every attack. Goku's trying to pull himself out of the ground while Vegeta also rushes back in, so does Piccolo, but they're not changing the tide of the fight. Cell soon grows bored of this and quickly starts deciding what he wants to do. He could destroy the planet, he could just off the fighters, and starts considering his best option. As he then looks towards Goku, who's buried pretty far into the ground, he decides he should put on a show for the man he wanted to fight. Cell then quickly deals with Piccolo and Vegeta, sending them to the ground unable to fight once again. He then takes care of Trunks, as he grabs both Goten and Gohan by the neck. Goku from the ground looks up in horror, as Cell begins to crush down on both of his sons' necks. Soon, Cell laughs out, saying, "It's funny, really. You killed the good doctor's kids, and his creation gets to kill yours. It's quite a fun twist, wouldn't you say, Son Goku?" Goku is fuming and feels rage that he's never felt before, with Goten desperately trying to break free of Cell's grasp, as future Gohan tries to make sure his older brother is safe. But soon, Cell deals with the pair easily. Goku from the ground watches on in horror. His mind goes completely blank as he lets out a scream. The planet does shake as Goku jumps straight back into his Super Saiyan state and rushes towards Cell. Throwing multiple punches, Cell soon knocks him away, but Goku manages to pull himself back up, and he lets out another scream of anger. This time, something's very, very different. Goku's body begins to get covered in electricity, as his hair begins to sharpen and become more spikier. Soon, Goku has changed. Goku looks up, as with his power now massive, as he stares Cell down, saying, "I will never forgive you, Cell. You will pay!" As he rushes towards Cell in his newly acquired form. Cell is shocked and horrified as Goku's power is way too much for him now. Goku easily goes out of Cell's sight and lands multiple hits. Soon, he hits Cell into the ground and fires a blast. Cell just barely dodges it, however Goku is behind him and lands a massive hammer arm. Cell is once again put into the dirt. As he pulls himself out, Goku kicks him upwards into the sky. Goku appears behind him and then kicks him even further. Goku has taken Cell all the way to the atmosphere as if he was juggling a ball. Goku then starts a barrage of punches. Cell is unable to keep up with Goku at this point. Even though he is super perfect, Goku is way too pissed off at the sight of seeing two of his sons go down to give Cell a moment to breathe. Who grabs Cell by the neck and begins to pummel him straight towards the ground. As he flies towards the ground, he throws multiple punches at Cell's face. Eventually, the pair make contact with the ground, making a huge crater. Goku has stopped throwing punches, and Cell is pretty much on the grasp of passing out. Goku then throws Cell into the air effortlessly as he puts one arm up and fires off a Kamehameha, bigger than anything that has ever been thrown before. Everyone watches on in horror as Goku completely evaporates Cell. It looked like it took Goku no effort, as Goku then falls to his knees and powers down. The man is heartbroken as he goes to collect his son's bodies and starts taking them to the lookout. Now, in this timeline, there is one small issue. There is no Namekian on the planet. After all, Goku doesn't know the instant transmission, so it's going to be a much harder time reviving these people, guys. So the group get ready to take a trip to Namek. After all, they don't have a relationship with King Kai in this timeline either, so they've just got to make the long trek. Goku is sad about throughout the whole journey, but is interested in the new power he found. Trunks is also pretty heartbroken as everyone continues onwards. Things go pretty easily. They arrive on Namek, they make the wish, they revive everyone, and they take Dende with them back to Earth. And jobs are good. Things end how they was like canon, just with a few small changes. The time travelers go back to their timeline, defeat their androids, and sell. With the present timeline continuing onwards, Goten doesn't hold a grudge against his father, nor does future Gohan for that matter. And Goten just wants to learn about this new Super Saiyan 2 that his father found, and the two soon get to training. With Goku happy that Goten was okay, and learn how they met someone called King Kai in the other world who could have taught them some cool techniques, but they would rather come back and learn that Super Saiyan 2 state. With things starting to glide into the 7 year time skip, we'll end it here. Yeah, I hope people enjoyed this, even though there's not a lot of change compared to the normal timeline. I couldn't really think of what would change. After all, it's quite a small change in the timeline, actually. It's just if Goten was born before Gohan. So the androids wouldn't change too much. They would only be a bit stronger. The time travelers are probably the biggest change, and I maybe could have done something with that, but they weren't winning any fights anyway, so I needed to think of that as well. So yeah, I hope this change was interesting enough that people enjoyed. I hope everyone has a good day or a good night, and hopefully I'll see you next time. See you later.